coffee. So, YouTube, we have a Sydney Watson video response. The failure of feminist Hollywood.
When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Established Titles, which you'd better watch because I tried really hard. Now, the other day, I was researching for another topic, another video that is still on the way. Do not worry, those of you who think I am not making long-form content anymore. I am. And during my adventure on the internet, I came across an article about She-Hulk, and a particular part of this article set my blood on fire. It explains that while Marvel films lack humanistic character traits such as sex, despite Iron Man being a womanizing millionaire and Thor being a god surrounded by a sea of women, these male superheroes don't pay these ladies any mind because the world is in danger, and that is, understandably, more important. However, the primary She-Hulk writer wants to change that narrative.
However, She-Hulk head writer Gao wants to change the narrative. This isn't just all about the boys and their need to feel worthy. Oh, fuck off with it. You know, this is what pisses me off about gender-based roles, YouTube. This is gender-based stereotype that men are supposed to be strong and we're supposed to be the heroes. And you know, women want to feel worthy too, to be fair. Now, Jennifer Walters has arrived and she wants nothing to do with saving the world. She's ready to be honest about her life with her newfound powers, juggling her career and her dating life. Ah, here we fucking go. I personally have no problems with She-Hulk. I think it's great that there are female characters out there, you know, to inspire younger women to achieve more. However, you have to realize that these are just movies and TV shows, that in real life is so much different.
Isn't all just about
I don't have any alcohol, but I got some strong ass coffee, so sip with me, YouTube.
boys and their need to feel worthy. Now, Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, has arrived.
And you don't need to feel worthy for nothing, dude. Self-worth is more important than the worth of someone else's opinion.
And she wants nothing to do with saving the world. She's ready to be honest about her life with her newfound.
So instead of being like, oh, hey, here's a strong female that can fight off the bad guys just like the boys, which would have been a lot better direction of writing, in my opinion, but
hours juggling her career and her dating life.
Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
What else you gonna do is
oh, that cliche. Don't get. Oh, barf. Barf, YouTube. Barf. Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s? Oh, wah. Fucking typical fucking, you know, that's bullshit. Yes, trying to date when you're 110 and pretty much every chick your age is,
Return to my career that I have spent years building.
Ah! What the fuck? So the male superheroes don't have any time for women because they're busy saving the world. But the female superhero is not interested in saving the world and is instead interested only in her career and dating life. Do you see?
yeah, that kind of puts a hole in the damper. All these male superheroes, they don't got time for a relationship. They're too busy saving the world. But the female superheroes, they don't want to save the world. They just want to date and have a life and a career. It's just like, it only gets worse from here.
The problem?
You could be an Avenger. Oh, I'm not a superhero. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans.
Who still save the world. Unlike you, my friend. It's like writers...
It's like Hollywood's afraid to give women bigger muscles or to give them, I don't know, equal opportunity to do the same thing that their male counterparts do, but what do I know? I don't know, like, I get that, like, you know what I'm saying? If they were to rewrite all of these characters to be like, yeah, we're going to save the world, and yes, we're going to have a social life outside of that.
Want people...
It's just, I don't know, to me personally, it made She-Hulk feel really, really one-dimensional as a character. When, like, okay, she couldn't be like the boys and save the world because her social life and her career are more important, you know?
To hate female leads. Whether you've seen it or not, you're probably all aware at this stage that, unlike you, my friend, it's like writers want people to hate female leads.
Yeah, they deliberately do that so they can call you a sexist when you don't like the storyline. It's very, you know, like when Disney called everyone a racist for hating the new Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's like, really, we're the ones that are racist, but y'all are the ones that made the female black lead a villain, therefore vilifying people of color, and yet people are the racist ones because we didn't like the storyline, because it was poorly written. Yeah, musical bullshit.
You've seen it or not, you're probably all aware at this stage that She-Hulk is yet another bizarre attempt to shove corporate feminism down everybody's throats.
Yeah, and like I said with that Disney rant I did a couple of videos back, people are just doing this for wokeism and progressive points. You know, these corporations don't give a fuck about rights or equality. All they care about is selling their brand. This is corporate Hollywood at its finest. Anything that makes them look the most progressive or the most woke or whatever gets them the most points, allegedly.
What feminist Hollywood might have you believe, these films, shows, and franchises are not appealing to men, but they're also not appealing to women. Seriously.
I think it just depends on your audience.
I don't know a single woman who actually enjoys this. Except maybe the bitter ones with like 15.
Like the narrative, it feels forced. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like they're just doing it because they can. They want you to think, look how progressive we are, you know? That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel genuine. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it.
Cats. Who's to say? I don't own a single cat and I enjoy it. Yet. Don't have any cats yet. So that's what I want to talk about today. Why feminist Hollywood movies are uniquely terrible, why they don't appeal to anyone, especially women, and all the components
because they're trying too hard
into making them so deeply unwatchable. But before you once again board my hell gondola and we snuggle up together to watch some Marvel movie punishment, let's hear from today's sponsor, Established Titles.
Did you see this?
See what?
This article. It says that they cut down like millions of trees in Scotland to make room for windmills. I hate windmills.
Wind turbines.
Whatever. Same thing. There comes a point in every person's life where they have to pay homage to Scotland and their Scottish roots.
You know, this is the funny part of it. Wind turbines are used to create wind energy, which is supposed to be eco-friendly for the environment. But you have to destroy the environment to make that happen. There's just a little circle of irony right there. Yeah.
Still don't have Scottish roots. Where they...
1 second. Coffee is delicious. Drinking some very cold Folgers Black Silk.
go to established titles to become a lord or lady, get their own fancy certificate, and a square foot of land on a private Scottish estate.
What is happening?
But more importantly, because established titles promises to plant a tree for every order placed, because we canna let the English windmills
Turbines.
win. It doesn't matter that you can call yourself a laird or lady on your plane tickets, your dating profiles, and your credit cards. It matters that we lords and ladies will save the trees for Scotland and for freedom!
You guys know the drill. I defiled my face for you. Head over to established titles or click the link in the description to take advantage of their awesome Labor Day sale. The next 200 people to use my link to buy a title pack will effectively have their plot of land next to my plot of land. Like a little kingdom. And don't forget to use code Sydney for 10% off your entire purchase. If we take a trip back to the 80s and 90s, I think that it is fair to argue this was a great time for film and entertainment. Storylines feel authentic, the characters are memorable, and the writing is still so quotable today. And most importantly, writers weren't focused on forced diversity or writing films with the sole purpose of...
Exactly, the thing is called forced diversity, you know? I get so tired of that. This whole cliche where, like, of course the men in the series are like these big sexist macho pigs, and women have these catty comments, and it's just this forced battle of the sexes crap, and it's just like, could we not? Could we just stop with that? And I agree with Sydney Watson 1000%. Movies from the 80s and 90s and before, like, to a point where, you know what I'm saying, the stories did feel genuine. Yeah.
wokeism and other social narratives. Good
wokeism. I got your wokeism right here. Let's all get woke together and drink a shit ton of coffee.
films did well. We didn't pathologize when they didn't. And during this time period, plenty of great films and shows with female leads captured people's attention. Terminator with Sarah Connor, Ellen Ripley in Aliens, Princess Leia in Star Wars. There are tons of these examples. Some of which you won't agree with, but I personally enjoy Lilu from The Fifth Element because, I don't know, I like that she's feminine and emotional while also being like this weird light creature who will save the planet. And let's be real, we all collectively enjoyed her bandage outfit.
Yes.
You're lying to me. You're lying to yourself. But these female leads are a far cry from what feminist Hollywood is giving us today. In an effort to place women in what have been long considered male roles, feminist Hollywood overcorrected, giving us a series of unlikable, unrelatable, unrealistic...
Well, I guess the word likable depends on your personal taste, but yes, feminist Hollywood is all about fourth wave feminism, because now that like 95% of women have equal rights to men, in some cases having more rights. Yeah, I said it. Sometimes women have more rights than men, and it's completely unfair for us men. But if we bitch about it, we're misogynistic, sexist fucking pigs. Right. Women bitch about it, it gets changed. And I'm not mad about it, I just think it's a tad bit hypocritical, to be honest. If it's all about gender equality, then these fourth wave feminazi cunts need to realize that men can have it rough too. Yes. Especially in today's modern society where your stereotypical man is painted as macho, buffed, stoic, emotionless, no fear. And the thing of it is, men experience fear just like women do. It just depends on the situation. And men can be weak. And then whenever men show weakness, much like women, they get crap for it. You know, with comments like, you ain't a real man.
strong female leads.
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
And strong female leads are totally awesome. I'm down with that 100%. However, yeah, when you're trying way too hard, like gender-based stereotypes being displayed time and again and again and again, on these TV shows. It's overplayed.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
It's a no. That's going to be a no from me. Oh. In an effort to place women in what have been long considered male roles, feminist Hollywood overcorrected, giving us a series of unlikable, unrelatable, unrealistic, strong female leads.
I need you to fix his suit.
Unrealistic, strong female leads. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
It's a no.
Could you imagine if they had that gender reversed? And that's the question I want to ask you. And keep in mind, when it comes to gender relations, if you want to better understand the opposite genders, then ask yourself, how would it feel to be in their shoes?
That's going to be a no from me. Okay, thank you for your input, Walmart Robin. The trouble is, they've done this over and over and over and have clearly learned nothing. The box office doesn't lie, even if Screen Rant does. Now, the most obvious starting point for this entire discussion is that these modern feminist films fail because of sexism. One article I found thinks,
yeah, because of sexism. And they do this because it's called, what's the word? Sexism baiting. It works just like race baiting. You know, you deliberately put a female lead into a movie / TV show just to get woke points. And so if anyone says they don't like it because the story was poorly written, you can automatically say, you're a sexist because of it.
Captain Marvel was criticized because men are man babies who don't want to see a woman headlining a Marvel movie.
I personally don't care. And calling us man babies, that's so stupid. That is so fucking stupid. I don't honestly give a shit. I think it's awesome that they're including more women in these kinds of things. However, the narrative feels forced and, you know, battle of the genders kind of thing.
In reality, Brie Larson is just like super unlikable on and
That's your opinion, I guess. Some people like her, some people don't.
Screen. And if the objective was to embody an effortlessly badass woman that men love and women want to be, well, that wasn't achieved whatsoever.
I have nothing to prove to you.
I do all my stunts.
I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did.
I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did.
Tom Cruise over here?
No, I would be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Wow.
For the record, this is Tom Cruise doing his own stunts. What leftists and feminists often attribute to sexism could be more accurately summarized by the fact that film and TV today just isn't really all that good, and having female leads doesn't change that. If anything, with the way most of them are written, it makes it worse. And there are a few reasons for this. For starters, most of these characters are female for the sake of it. When they're
Pretty much. Exactly my point. Just for the sake of saying, oh look, we have a female in the new Star Wars, you know.
gender swapped in well-known series and franchises, the truth is there isn't any actual need for them. Think Star Wars or the female Doctor Who.
Well, I would disagree to a point, Sydney. I think it's awesome that we have female leads. It inspires young girls to stay strong and to never give up. In a world dominated by men and sexism and racism, greed, lust, and hunger, and a bunch of other effed up shit, you know.
You see, I care so little about these female leads, I can't even remember their names. Girl with shiny lightstick who has a disappointing romance arc? Blonde female character absolutely no one asked for? On a serious note, you guys do not understand how much I hated Rey in Star Wars. I watched it the whole time thinking, I don't mind if they kill the main character this time. I don't mind. I will do it. I volunteer as tribute! And because these female characters are often shoved into a movie or a show for no good reason, it means that they aren't fully fledged people.
Well, the thing of it is, they're shoved into the movies to empower women and to make them feel like, hey, we're being gender inclusive instead of gender seclusive kind of thing. But there's so much hypocrisy in this, it's just, you know what I'm saying? But you have to think that men have pretty much dominated society for the last several thousands of years. Only until like the 1960s did like women start to revolt, you know, and say we're not going to take any more of crap from the patriarchy. And now that women have the same rights, if not more rights than men, they're bored. So now the narrative is bully men, and nobody really cares, because if men get bullied by women now, it's toughen up, you pussy. That's how it is, dude.
Their own pain, struggles, and flaws. They are there for the express purpose of propagating a feminist message, and when they do for some reason have a struggle, it's as one-dimensional and flat as this.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally.
And here's the problem with it. When women are not allowed to express their emotions because they get told, you're just being emotional, you're just on your period, stupid bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But when men express their emotions, we are also told that us men were not allowed to experience these emotions because it makes us weak, it makes us pussies. You know, it's seen as demasculating, and it's just so fucking frustrating to watch from both sides. To watch from both sides of the argument, you start to understand how women think, because men get treated similarly sometimes.
Murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Yeah, and you sound like you're controlling it right now, and I'm one to talk with my fucking temper.
Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk because he has inner turmoil that he sometimes can't control. I read that some changes to his backstory have added that he was abused as a child, and that he and Hulk are two separate personas struggling for control of the body.
When I had the gauntlet, the stones, I really tried to bring her back.
The point is, unlike She-Hulk, Banner is not dealing with some trivial nonsense where someone calls out to him in the street to say he looks nice. And I have to admit, even...
Well, that's just the nature of the beast, Sydney. I hate to be like that, but men are just supposed to fucking take it, you know? If a chick says we look good and she's like 800 pounds overweight and uglier than sin and not our type, all we're supposed to do is say, thank you for the compliment, have a nice day. We can't do anything at all to reject it, otherwise we get called a fag, or we get told we can't handle a strong woman, or you're just a typical fucking male. Now, if that same fucking chick only goes after dudes with six-pack abs, you know, us dudes are told, well, you better lose some weight, you fat fuck. Hey, dude, go to the gym and work out, bro. You want to get the chicks, man. Double standards and hypocrisy are a bitch, aren't they? That being said, women have also had to face their fair share of bullshit on the dating scene. Men who just can't take no for a fucking answer because they're pigs. Not all of us, though, ladies. Yeah, and it's like, you know, women know exactly how that fucking feels. When you got someone that's not your type hitting on you, and you're like, please stop, and then they give you the bullshit. You know, they give you the fucking business. What, am I not good enough for you? Hey, whoa, look at this bitch over here, you know, kind of attitude. And it's just like, bro. Now, could you imagine, like, you know, and that's the best part about being a woman, I would think, is that at first you fucking hate it. You know, all these dudes lusting after you. And, hey, baby! You like guitar players? I'd rock your world. You like Harry Potter? You want to see my basilisk? Can I slither into your DMs? At first, you're sick of it. But once you get older and your looks fade, and the catcalling stops, at first you're like, sweet bliss. But then after a while you miss it, and then you feel unattractive, and it hurts, and then you slowly but surely die. Yeah. The problem with this is society validates women on their looks the same way that men are validated on their strength. Did I say that out loud? Shh. You know what I'm saying? This is why, like, your stereotypical married couple, you know, the husband might say things like, you know, he'll compliment his wife. He'll be like, babe, you look amazing today. I love you. And then she might be like, even though she's more than capable of opening the mayonnaise jar, or the pickle jar, if you will, in this scenario, she'll look at you and go, hey, babe, can you help me with this? She needs her big, strong man to help her do it. And even though she's more than capable of doing it, it makes him feel validated in his strength as a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the thing of it. I feel like, I don't know, it just depends on who you talk to.
I was collecting and watching clips to edit together this video.
Yeah, but that's what separates regular Hulk from She-Hulk, you know? Is that the Hulk's anger is just involuntary. Shit just pisses him off. Whereas She-Hulk is triggered by catcalling and, you know, things that would normally piss off a lot of women, like being told how to handle her job and her expertise by people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. You know? But that's what separates women from men, right? If women try to tell men how to do their fucking job when they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and if you call them out on it, you get called a sexist, chauvinistic, misogynistic male pig who can't take the criticism or the opinion of a woman. Yes. But if it's gender reversed, you get told as a man, and I quote, don't tell her to do her fucking job, you sexist male pig. Yeah.
The way that Banner is portrayed on screen, especially his relationship with Black Widow, the way that she calms him down and so on, it even was starting to get me in the feels. She-Hulk.
That was so fucking cheesy, like, I ain't gonna lie, dog. You don't need a woman to calm you down. That strength comes from within. Speaking as somebody who hasn't had a girlfriend in almost 5 fucking years, I don't have a woman just calm my fucking ass down. That's not the female's job, damn it. If you have a nasty temper, it's your job as an individual to control yourself and not, you know what I'm saying, having to rely on someone else to do that for you.
Elicits none of that. When I watch her, rather than finding her humorous, which I don't know, maybe that's what she's supposed to be, I just find her annoying and weak. Which is ironic, considering she's supposed to be a strong female character.
The transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
What does it mean to have a library card? It definitely doesn't mean fumbling with a computer from 1998.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
Given
That's what the fuck? Hold up, we gotta rewind that.
which I don't know, maybe that's what she's supposed to be. I just find her annoying and weak, which is ironic considering she's supposed to be a strong female character.
The transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
What? Okay, so Man Hulk goes up to She-Hulk. She's hooked up to some bullshit gizmo doohickey thingy-mabobber. And he's like, okay, She-Hulk, your powers are triggered by anger and fear. And then, of course, She-Hulk makes the comments, and you heard her say it, that's the basis of any female on an everyday basis. And I'm like, ooh, that's a gender-based stereotype, love. Calm down. This idea that, and yes, we all experience anger from time to time, but like, you know, can you blame women for being pissed off all the time about shit? Because it's like they've had to deal with oppression for like so many years, dude. I was watching a documentary on Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, and the way women were treated back in those days was so much worse, dude. Like, women were seen as second-class citizens. Then you have fourth-wave feminists who have, like, long-ass armpit hair that's been braided, complaining because fuck the patriarchy, they can't tell you gals how to shave your armpit hair, but it's totally okay for hot chicks to tell men how to shave our balls. Oh, hypocrisy's a bitch, ain't it? Could you imagine, though, like, sincerely, if Gillette Venus had a smoking hot dude, like Fabio-looking motherfucker, riding in on a white horse on a sunset beach? It's super romantic. He's like, ladies, when I'm fucking your pussy, I like a nice smooth ride. So check out Gillette Venus. I'm your Venus for shaving your cunt. There'd be a mob of angry feminists outside of Gillette razors going, how dare you men tell us women how to shave our body hair, you fucking sexist, blah, 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 blah. There would be, pitchforks with flaming tampons adorned, and they'd be run out of town like the Frankenstein monster. But do you think guys are going to complain about shit like that? We see a hot babe, a hot female holding some big-ass gun standing next to her tank, and it makes everything that makes men go, oh, 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 me like gun, me like female, ooh, look at tank. It's the truth. I'm not saying all men are like that, but let's divulge for a second. You look at the toys that children are given growing up. Women are given these dolls to play with that conditions them into the whole motherhood stereotype that women have to face with their gender-based bullshit. Whereas boys are given things like G.I. Joe dolls and toy guns and shit like that, which, you know, conditions men into that violent stereotype. Let's anything a man can do, a woman can do better. Let's be realistic. Women are scary when they get violent because you can't react to their bullshit. Otherwise, that's the truth. It may just be the coffee talking, but if a woman gets violent and you respond to it with more violence, they'll automatically take her side. And if you don't believe me, I got 2 words to say to that. Amber Heard. I hate to be that guy, but it's the fucking truth. If there was definitive evidence that proved Johnny Depp was guilty of the things Amber Heard accused him of, that trial would have been cut and dry and would have been over with so quickly. But because there was contradicting evidence that suggested that Amber Heard was a lying cunta, the trial took longer to solve because, sexism and shit. And the simple fact of the matter is, women have no idea what it's like to have the opposite sex have so much fucking power over you. All they gotta do is scream sexism, rape, misogyny, and society crumbles to its knees to her every whim. Because, and I'll be honest with you, pissing off a female doesn't work. It's easy to do, but if you do it, you'll never hear the end of it. So 9 times out of 10, they'll just give her what she wants to shut her the fuck up because they don't want to deal with it. Am I right about that, or am I right? No, arguing with the female is fucking pointless. Just say, yes, dear. She could say 2 + 2 = fish, and if you try to argue with her and say, no, it equals 4, this is basic mathematics, what the fuck are you on? She'll call you a fucking pig for it. Oh.
That I am a woman, I do feel a little qualified to say that I am acutely...
At the same time, I kind of feel like that one-liner she pulled was a stereotype. Like, let's be every basic female on a day-to-day basis.
aware of the unique struggles that women have. However, articulating them like this is just so...
cheesy.
The female
Yeah, exactly, Sydney Watson. Fucking preach. Females are no strangers to their everyday struggles, and when you try to represent those struggles on the screen, yeah, it comes off as cheesy. I actually agree. I sympathize with women in the fact of I can't begin to imagine what it's like to be a female. That's gotta fucking suck. I might make jokes about, like, you know, certain topics, but it's all in good fun. I would never truly make fun of women and their periods and shit because that would suck ass. Could you imagine being a dude and you're bleeding out your fucking asshole? Your balls hurt. You're horny enough to fuck damn near everything, but your dick won't get hard. And you're super emotional. All you want to do is sit on the couch and watch Home Improvement, scratch your nuts, watch football, and drink beer. And you bitch about every guy that you encounter. Oh, Chad thinks he's such hot shit because he's got a 69 Camaro. Well, fuck him. And his wife is such a cunt. Oh my god. She's the fucking worst. God. That would be the male equivalent of having a period. You'd be bleeding out your dick and your asshole at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? If men had our periods, it's like, we're gonna watch fucking Roadhouse and drink beer and bitch about guys we don't like. And then when women get sick of our emotional crap, we'll sit there and say, why can't you support my needs? That's the best part of it, though. Like, when some women see us men's emotional needs as overbearing, and it's like, because when us men are equally as emotional, if not more emotional than women, it frightens women. Just as much as if women are tougher than men, it scares men. Which is why I think, next point, they're afraid to make women have bigger muscles, to be tougher, you know, to a point. You know what I'm saying? I said to a point. We'll get into that.
Of old, including those who were featured in older films that have now been remade and destroyed, were women who embodied actual feminine and female characteristics and traits. But the difference is that those traits didn't stop them from...
I mean, yeah, I watched the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy series, you know, the one where Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have a lesbian relationship. And I actually enjoyed watching that because Poison Ivy is, so was Harley Quinn for that matter, but that's beside the point. And yes, whenever you heard them make some snarky comment about men, you know, as a dude, you go, ugh. Of course, what the fuck, who wrote this shit, a feminist? But if you look up the word feminist on Google, it literally says the definition of feminism is female equality based off of gender equality. Yeah. Which means if you have a feminazi who claims to be all about gender equality but they hate men, you're a fucking hypocrite.
And they aren't female for the sake of a female character. They are well-written, thoughtful representations of a character who just happens to be female.
Yes, exactly. And that's the big difference between a well-written character who happens to be female versus she's just in the movie because she's female, or she's just in the TV show, or she just happens to be this and that because it fits the progressive narrative, you know?
Sarah Connor, for example. In Terminator 2, she is hell-bent on killing Mike Dyson, a man she doesn't know, for something he doesn't know will have terrible consequences. When she finally has the chance and sees his son trying to protect him, she breaks down. Her own son shows up and they share a moment. Our badass leading lady suddenly becomes a human and a mother. It is no different at the end of The Fifth Element when Lilu knows the Earth is about to be exploded. Her very purpose is to save life, and she can't fulfill that purpose because she can't see why humanity is worth saving if all it does is kill and destroy. That, and you know, she got like shot at and then beaten up and she's bleeding. It's all very sad. The scene where Bruce Willis is holding her and she's crying tells us how big a burden this is for her. Today's female character...
Exactly. You know, Sydney, I fully agree 100%. It's the thing of it, YouTube, is when you write a female character and put her in a TV show just because she's female, and then make her one-dimensional and your stereotypical snarky, catty female, it's just, ugh, dude.
Are flat and empty.
Regardless, I don't have a problem with female leads. Like I said, I think that's super awesome that we have these. However, if you're going to insert a female or a black person or a gay person or a trans person or what have you into a TV show, then give them a solid story, give them a solid dialogue, you know, make the character relatable. That's how you know what I'm saying, like, socialize these concepts into people's brains of, all of a sudden, if you have this sexist, misogynistic, racist asshole who's also homophobic and transphobic, all of a sudden, they stop looking past that, and they go, oh shit, you know, the emotions that character is feeling, all of a sudden that person who's like the biggest asshole is going, shit, I relate to that kind of thing, you know?
Impossible to relate to. They have no flaws.
Yeah, and when you make your female characters have no flaws and they just naturally excel at everything as soon as they try, it's just like, yeah, and Sydney Watson's going to point it out in the video, which was not trying to be sexist, but you look at Star Wars with Rey, the female lead. She just picks up a lightsaber and is automatically badass with it. It's something that took Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker like years of training to master. All of a sudden, she's just like, boom, in one day, she's just like, whatcha? Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, cutscene, training montage kind of thing, you know.
Immediately succeed at everything they do, and they have no journey of...
And that's what makes, like, I don't care if it's a male or female, that's what makes any character unrelatable, because we're not going to be automatically good at everything we succeed at. Otherwise, life would kind of be boring, wouldn't it? I feel like trial and error, it gives us self-worth to a point. Think about it. If you play a video game and it's super easy to beat, you know, you'll play it just because you can, but like, you know, sometimes that's the fun in life. It's a challenge. You know, that's why people who give up on dating completely just, you know, yeah, you know, that's what makes dating fun. It's the thrill of the challenge, of being told no by every of age, alive, biological, non-related, of age female you like, and then one day you'll find one that you really like, and she's just like, you know what, fuck it, you know? Yeah, dude.
Personal growth and development. We see...
Exactly, that's the key. That's what makes the character more relatable, is when they have personal growth and development in a storyline.
When She-Hulk beats Banner repeatedly during training together. We see this when Rey in Star Wars immediately masters things that took Luke forever to learn, like, stop this. Mulan is a gifted fighter from day one, which is...
Now, Sydney Watson can get away with bitching about this crap because she's a female. If a dude were to bitch about this, he'd be called a fucking sexist. You literally see She-Hulk in the series just beat the crap out of him without even trying the first time. And it's like, not trying to be a dick, but unless you're a UFC MMA fighter, 9 times out of 10, if you got some 400-pound dude of just solid gorilla of a dude, and then some dainty little 185-pound chick, gee, I wonder who's going to win in a fight. Go ahead, I'll wait. Well, pepper spray is effective if you can get a good aim on it. I would never personally do anything to warrant the use of such an item. However, in the movies or on the TV shows, when you see the chick pull it out of her purse, like, yeah, you know, kind of thing, it can be blocked with a hand if the person's quick enough. You're more effective with like a knife or like a taser or something of that nature. Plus, what happens when you go to pull out your pepper spray and, oh, fuck, you're out. Son of a bitch. That being said, you're a fucking asshole if a woman has to pull out pepper spray to defend herself. You're a fucking asshole if she has to do that. She, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unless, of course, it's bear mace, because that shit, no thank you.
100% the opposite of what she is in the animation. And apparently Captain Marvel...
Yeah, that's just the thing of it. Like in the Mulan live-action movie, she just automatically excels and is better than everyone at everything on her first try. Versus the Disney version of Mulan, where she had to train and put up with a lot of bullshit and, like, go on this self-journey of discovery.
...is the strongest of all the superheroes, because...
They're simply making the new Captain Marvel female the strongest of all the superheroes because she is female, not because, you know, story and plot.
Okay, I believe you.
Think I'm jealous, is that what I'm feeling?
To cap it off, so many of these women are either full of unnecessary, unkind, catty lines and whining, or they're in a pickle measuring... Or they're in a man pickle measuring contest with the men around them.
That's the fucking truth. You're writing these characters to be whiny and just to make snarky, catty comments, and they always have to compete with the boys. I'm so fucking tired of our society pitting women and men against each other. Rather than writing a fucking script where it's like, instead of, you know, oh, gee, I never, you know, this is so typical. It's like some fucking Darman skit come to life. Where, like, at first the man's a fucking sexist pig, and then he learns his lesson, like, oh, you know, I never thought about it that way, you know, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. So you see, this is why you shouldn't be a sexist pig to women. I am so sorry. I had no idea that women had to go through that. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Might disagree with me here, but one of the reasons I love...
How about we write a fucking script for these TV shows and movies where women and men can work together and they're both equally badass and they both have significant roles and a strong lead. You know, I'm so tired of the whole women and men have to compete with each other. It's bullshit. And on top of that, which forces women to compete with other women and men to compete with other men. You see it play out in society so many fucking times. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Wonder Woman was because she embodied a femininity often lost on female superheroes. She trained for years to hone her skills, to earn her skills.
And there are some women that would argue that women don't have to be feminine to be women. This is a really tricky and very touchy subject for a lot of people, so let's just not go down that rabbit hole. Or can we? It's very much the same argument. Like, you have these Instagram models who put on a pound of fucking makeup and call it empowering because it's their body. They do what the fuck they want with it. All for it, you know? And there are some women who say, fuck makeup, that's a fucking stereotype of women, and they do it for the same reasons the women put on the makeup for. It's their body, their right, and I'm all for it, dude. 100.
And when these skills failed her and a loved one dies, her pain is so obviously crushing. It makes her relatable, and when she finally triumphs, we celebrate along with her.
Exactly my point, Sydney. She's experiencing emotions because of the storyline, not because, oh, you're a female and you're placed in this role, blah, 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 kind of thing, you know? Exactly my fucking point.
And, you know, the movie made me walk out of the cinema wanting to become a ninja. I'm also talking about the 2017 Wonder Woman movie and not the weird garbage that came after. The point is, a well-rounded character, regardless of sex, makes a film worth watching.
Exactly. A well-rounded, well-written character makes any good story worth it. And that could be challenging as a writer to make the character relatable to an extent, you know.
Throwing a woman in there just for the sake of it isn't a good enough reason for me to care, especially when their entire personality is built around, I don't know, like fighting the patriarchy or something. And this brings
the entire personality of these female characters, as you can see in today's modern society, is just solely based on you're female, we're putting you in here so people shut the fuck up about it and don't call us sexist.
To the point that modern feminist characters are not people. They serve as vessels for feminist propaganda.
Modern day feminism is not feminism, it's just an excuse to hate men. Like, instead of hating men, if fourth wave feminism focused on improving equality for females in third world countries, instead of focusing on, oh, all men are evil, blah, 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 especially if you're white and biologically male, then I'd be like, yeah, but that's not the case, is it?
And man-hating.
And the reason why the majority of them won't do that is because women hate competition.
I think it's more or less true that when writers focus more attention on the sex, skin color, or sexual orientation of a character, rather than making that character into a multifaceted individual, it's ultimately unwatchable.
To a degree, yes. Now, it's awesome that gays, trans, blacks, and women, etc. are getting representation in TV shows and movies, but if that's all the character is based on, then, you know what I'm saying? It feels forced. Like, they're just putting it in there to shut people up. Like, okay, so we've included a trans, gay, black person in our TV show, so here's our narrative, check it off. Now everyone can stop calling us names, you know, kind of thing.
Woman, which was cancelled after 3 seasons.
Why Batwoman was cancelled after season 3.
Sank to high heaven of identity politics.
Identity politics. Which is, yeah.
Started off with endless...
That'll be for a separate video, of course.
Snarky comments and devolved from there. An article from earlier this year wrote that it was groundbreaking to have a black bisexual actress become Batwoman, but
very modern and chic. Look at that. Black and bisexual. Oh, look out.
This article notes that the casting choice didn't do much to mitigate the narrative problems of the show. Because, newsflash, being gay and female doesn't change terrible writing. Sorry about that. Well,
they didn't say she was gay, they said she was bisexual, but we're not going to get into that.
We have no idea why Batgirl was cancelled before it even aired. Something tells me it probably had something to do with the same identity politics.
You can't please everyone, that's the bitch about all of this, really.
That killed off so many of its predecessors. Overall, writers who don't properly flesh out a character do that character zero favors. Worse still are the female characters who are forced to compete with their male counterparts or who are made...
Yeah, that's what pisses me off about this kind of writing, is it literally, like she just got done saying, forces women to compete with their male counterparts rather than working together as human beings to resolve the conflict within the story.
superior to them, even if it doesn't make any sense. People came down pretty hard on Thor: Love and Thunder, which features Natalie Portman as the female Thor, or Jane, because it didn't make Jane's character look awesome, it just made Thor's character look like an imbecile. As some of you may have noticed, this is actually a very common theme in modern television and—
Side note, did he have to be freaking naked for that scene? Ugh, dude, gross.
Film. Men are often portrayed
Thank you for censoring that, Sydney.
as weak, silly, and misogynistic.
Just make sure.
Let me ask you this. If that were gender reversed and, like, female Thor was forced to be naked and chained up in front of some kind of court, people would call that shit degrading. I'm just saying.
The egg's on top.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Natalie Portman naked. I didn't say that out loud. Shit, behave, Cobra.
Why is the pillow square? I'm glad you asked. This is Jay, the inventor of the pillow cube. And this is a...
Skip.
So I shouldn't open up the carton and just dump them all in there?
Okay.
Yeah, I get so tired of that narrative in these TV shows and movies where it's like stereotypically the man's some dumb idiot sexist. You know?
You go wait in the car.
Just trying to help.
Yeah, I know how to pack my own suitcase. I can pack my own grocery bag.
Let's also remember that men make up a huge portion of audience.
So, like, you can totally paint men for their stereotypes in, like, movies and TV shows and shit, but if you do that crap to women, you're a sexist. Fuck off with that, dude. Equal rights for both sexes, man.
Is when it comes to watching particularly superhero movies, and all this does is alienate that base. These films go out of their way to make men look bad, and it's different to...
Yeah, and I hate that. I'm so tired of, like, our society vilifying men. You know, it just creates this negative stereotype. And think about it from my perspective. As a dude, when you see a couple of women who get treated like crap by the biggest asshole men, they go on and they watch some crime scene drama, or the dude rapes a chick and then murders her, and then fucking, you know, the female detective is like chasing after the dude with her gun because her male partner detective got shot in the leg or some fucking shit, and then the female saves the day and like stops the bad guy kind of thing. And then after she gets done watching that, like, yeah, you know, and, like, it gets you ramped up, like, yeah, fuck yeah, she got revenge for that female. It's awesome to a point, you know? Like, when you see the female lead take down the male. Okay, fuck rape and fuck murder. But then they go and turn on the fucking news when you watch the fucking news, and it's just like, man violence, men do this, men do that, all the crap, you know what I'm saying? Like, ugh.
Portraying men as the villain. In addition to that, men can never seem to be of any help to the women they fight or work alongside.
And vice versa. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, you see that. Like, in these TV shows where men are vilified, they can't be any help or of any value to their female counterpart. It's just annoying as shit.
I hate this because it makes it a matter of male versus female rather than how can we solve this problem together.
Exactly what I've been saying. You make it all about gender versus gender rather than how can we compromise and find a solution.
I mean, it also leads to weird situations where we are forced to suspend our disbelief to watch some tiny woman beat the snot out of a man twice her size.
Yep, it does force us to suspend our unrealistic belief. Of course, we've all heard this, like, it's the movies, you know, shit you see in the movies and TV shows doesn't happen in real life. Unless she's really good at fighting. You know, you're sitting there looking at this like I said earlier, here's some 400-pound macho big motherfucker of a dude, and here comes this 185-pound woman going, hey, and then boom, he's on the ground, you know.
Because, again, yeah, I believe you can throw around this man, lesbian Bella. One thing I also think is worth noting is that every good female character I've listed so far has emotions and has emotional motivations for doing the things that they do. Unfortunately, today's female leads have these feelings and emotions written out of them. And if they do, for whatever reason, have a feeling, it's often totally ridiculous and over the top. I don't think that Captain Marvel...
Yeah, that's the fucking truth. Whenever women do have emotions in like these TV shows or sitcoms or movies and modern day cinema, it's like Sydney Watson just said, it's dramatically written over the top. It's equally as annoying as the same assholes who vilify men and make them look to be this, the stereotypical sexist male. It's equally as disgusting when women are written to be over the top emotional,
experiences a single feeling while on screen, even when she's alone and supposed to be reflective. Sorry, Brie, this isn't an emotional face. Try harder.
Can you keep your emotions in check long enough to take me on?
Just kidding. She doesn't have any. On the flip side, you have She-Hulk flipping out at men outside a bar for being weirdos because she's sick of men? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to get from this. If rendering female characters emotionless robot people is supposed to make them appear stronger and push against this idea that women...
Well, they do that because our society says if you have emotions, that makes you weak. And I'm here to tell you, YouTube, that having emotions, regardless of gender, doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. It's...
are more emotional than men, it's an abject failure.
And that's the killer part of it, really, to be honest, YouTube. Is that women who are more emotional than men are seen as weak, and men who are more emotional than women are seen as weak, and it's just a big pile of stinky bullshit.
Woman knows when to be emotional and when to put her feelings aside.
That's also very true for men in that aspect. We as humans, we learn when to be emotional, when to express ourselves in a healthy way to a point, and then when to put our emotions aside. Doing what's right is a lot harder than doing what's easier. I'll tell you that right now. That's the fucking truth, YouTube.
Isn't some sad reflection of women that we experience emotions, and it shouldn't be forcibly removed from these female personalities in order for them to achieve something worthwhile.
Exactly. Women should be allowed to express their emotions without being seen as overly emotional or you're just on your period, Men should be allowed to have emotions too without being told you're just some kind of faggot, you're just a weak pussy beta bitch boy, soy boy cuck, blah blah blah, XYZ, simp, whatever. Fucking A, I'm gonna need a cigarette after this.
So if they wanted to have
21 and up.
She-Hulk losing her absolute chops at some men, it would have made a lot more sense if she wasn't presented to...
Yeah, but could you imagine though, like if they had written the male Hulk like that? Not trying to be that guy, but as Terrence Popp famously said, but if they had written the male version, the male Hulk coming out of a bar drunk because his girlfriend just broke up with him and he's super pissed about it, and a bunch of chicks were harassing him and being obnoxious, and then he just hulks out and beats the fuck out of them, you'd never see it. Not trying to be a dick, but that's how it is. That being said, if you're a dude and you're being a sleazy little cunt and treating women like crap, you deserve to have your balls kicked in.
As a character who consistently gets her way. Until this point, it's not like we've seen her having setback after setback and getting angry.
Yeah, that's what makes the character even more unrelatable, I feel like, is when you see She-Hulk constantly getting her way because she is female. That in itself is actually relatable because that's how it is in our society. 9 times out of 10, women will get their way a lot more than a man will because, let's face it, that's how it is. 1, a lot of dudes want to get laid and get their dick sucked, and 2, not trying to be a dick, but like I said earlier, fighting with a woman doesn't get you anywhere. Does not get you anywhere. Pissing off a female requires no effort and no talent, as women are emotional by nature because society lets them be emotional to a point, and because, you know, yeah.
And angrier, so this moment makes absolutely no sense. Not that any.
That's just how some women are, dude. This is not a reflection of all, you know. But women who use their anger to get what they want and then get pissed off when men are equally as aggressive, it's just ugh, the worst, dude. And people are shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It's just...
She does make sense. Taking all the traits that are often seen in villainous male characters and just shoving them onto female characters doesn't suddenly mean we're going to like them. I think the fact of the matter is that
yeah, that's the truth. Taking a female character and just inserting her into the plot because she's female and giving her stereotypical female BS just to force us to like that character, otherwise we're a sexist. Like, it's so annoying, dude.
And writers contribute sexism to their own characters by writing them poorly, and no amount of shaming from directors and writers is going to change that.
My real plea is for men to have enough empathy to go see movies starring.
Oh, what? Hold up.
By writing them poorly, and no amount
What
of...
did that actress just say? I think I'm gonna puke.
Shaming from directors and writers is going to change that.
My real plea is for men to have enough empathy to go see movies starring women.
Oh my fucking god. Dude, don't make me fucking vomit. What? It's not about empathy, honey. It's just about, yeah, some men are going to be sexist, but not all men are like that. Okay? Women fucking lose their shit when people assume they're all the same. But they do the same crap to us. And it just becomes this fucking battle of the genders bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Enough empathy? Well, maybe, you know, it depends on their taste in movies, dude. Like, not every... Just because they don't like the movie starring a female doesn't make them automatically sexist. Maybe the movie wasn't their cup of tea, you know? Like, that is so... sexist baiting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like race baiting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's... identity politics, like Sydney Watson said.
Stop this. Obviously, there are a couple...
Enough empathy? Okay. Yeah, sure.
Points that I left out of this video in the interest of not having it be 1,000 years long, but...
What if I told you they deliberately write the stories crappy just so people don't like it, so they can turn around and call you a sexist? Eh? Makes you think, doesn't it?
Summary. Good female...
And that depends on, like, your narrative, I guess. And if you like... Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't.
Protagonists are not one-dimensional. They aren't
Exactly. Good female characters are not just some one-dimensional pair of tits that they put on camera just for the sake of, oh, hey, you know.
There to parrot liberal feminist talking points. They serve a higher purpose and often have deep-rooted motivations for what they do. They don't compete with their male counterparts.
There's a reason why liberal rhymes with abysmal.
Where they acknowledge the strengths of the men around them, even sometimes acquiescing to them when necessary and needed.
And that's the thing of it. A good character dynamic between the genders, you know what I'm saying? Women and men coming together and acknowledging their own weaknesses while being able to recognize the strengths and their counter co-stars.
I am a woman who really does enjoy female leads, not because I can relate to them 100% of the time, but because I like going on a journey with them that leads them to be stronger and more resilient. Or
I agree with you on that, and as a dude who likes of-age women, yeah, I'm not going to go any further with that, because I'm a guy, and I want to ruin my talking points by being your... Sue me.
going in the opposite direction where they're a little more hardened and learn to be softer and to love and so forth. I don't need to be bludgeoned to death with a feminist message to watch these movies, but I also don't want to be subjected to ridiculous feminist propaganda that has no place in modern society, watching female characters stand up at the expense of their male counterparts.
And vice versa, Sydney. I don't want to watch a movie where men are portrayed as these sexist assholes and they're constantly putting down women, or women are constantly being put up on this pedestal higher than their male counterparts simply because of wokeism. It's like, you can see that to a point they're trying way too hard with it, YouTube.
And wokeism has become a shield for bad television and film. Sexism has become the justification when a female-led film doesn't do well, as if male-led films don't fail all the time.
Films fail in general. It has nothing to do with gender or any of that.
Justifications fall flat when you consider just how little effort.
Because a bad film and a bad TV show is a bad film and a bad TV show. It doesn't matter anything else outside of that.
Put into these female-led films and the female characters who lead them. Feminist Hollywood sucks, and I'm fairly certain that they have absolutely nobody to blame but themselves. Now, before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out established titles using the link in the description. When you do and you use code Sydney, you'll get 10% off any purchase. Now, open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Is this as annoying as I think it is? Do you—
To a point, yes, because it perpetuates and propels these gender-based stereotypes. So yes, to a point, it is annoying.
Like female characters? Do you dislike female characters?
No, quite the contrary. I love that we're having more female characters and more representation in TV shows. I think that's awesome. However, when you try to, like, it gets to a point where it's awesome that we have all these representations, but doing it for the wrong reasons, that's what gets irritating about it.
Does it put you off watching a movie if it has a female lead?
Not really. There's just something sexy about a strong and empowered female. It's like, yeah.
Of gender swapping. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it unnecessary? Is it very
Gender swapping to a degree is not necessary, but it also is necessary because it's good to represent decent folks and decent ideas,
Necessary? What do you think of She-Hulk and the...
I'm torn on the whole She-Hulk thing. I honestly don't really have a solid opinion on it because I haven't watched an episode. But based off what I've heard, it is what it is. If you like She-Hulk, cool. If you don't like it, that's your opinion too. I think that's badass that they're having, a female representation of that, even if it's poorly written.
Blow up around She-Hulk, or the opinions around She-Hulk, and what you generally make...
Opinions are your opinions, I guess.
Of this issue overall. As always, if you like the video, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, free to do so, just be respectful about it, and I will see you guys next time.
Well, YouTube, that's my opinion. Fuck sexism and fuck racism and power to the people. And fuck sickos. And fuck rape and fuck murder. And that's what's up.